You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi there, General Hospital fans. Michael Corinthos is at death's door and he's knocking on it, but will the ABC soap actually kill him off, or will he wind up suffering a fate worse than death? It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and today we'll look at the spoilers about Michael's chances of survival and how this could play out for everybody involved. And if you're not subscribed, please click that button. So we had the firebomb go off at Sonny's penthouse, still with no glimpse of the bomber, probably psychotic Jen Sidwell. Jason rushed to the rescue. He was so good. He grabbed a blanket, doused the flames that were consuming a screaming Michael, and they got him right over to General Hospital to get the best care. But will it be good enough to save his life? By the way, I don't know how you guys feel, but I thought it was in poor taste how they intercut the scenes of Willow and Drew getting busy, her cheating on her husband while her husband was in agonizing pain, burning up. I know they were going for dramatic effect, but I just found it really cringy. I mean, unless the goal that the writers had in mind was to have viewers to despise Willow and Drew even more than they already do, I don't know what they were thinking. Anyway, we do know, live or die, Michael Corinthos will exit GH soon. Chad Duell wrapped filming and he's off spending time with his young son and allowing himself space to grieve the death of his father. But he said he might consider coming back one day. Plus, Frank Valentini said they had no immediate plans to recast. Also, Chad said they wrote Michael's exit as open-ended in a way the character can come back easily. And that points to him not dying. But things look really dire. Lucas reported horrific news to Michael's family. Third-degree burns on 40% of his body. That is enough to be fatal. What helps is that Michael is young, he's healthy, and he got immediate medical attention. If you don't know about burns and how they work, the degree, first, second, or third degree, that's how deep in your skin it goes. A third-degree burn consumes all the layers of the skin. There's 2 layers of skin, and then there's this layer of fatty stuff below that. It burns through all 3 of those, and it leaves this leathery black surface. It's absolutely horrific looking. However, there's an upside. With third-degree burns, it burns through the pain receptors. So Michael actually should not be in agony from what happened to his skin. He'll have smoke inhalation and other damage, so his lungs could be in agony, but his skin really shouldn't be. Second-degree burns are actually a lot more painful. You know, your skin is your body's biggest organ, so 40% burn can be fatal. That's basically destroying almost half the organ. That's why Lucas didn't want to give the family any kind of reassurance that Michael would survive. Also, with Sonny's heart issues, I have to wonder if this event might give him another episode. You know, both Michael and Sonny could wind up in a medical crisis at the same time. And it didn't help that Carly's immediate reaction was to blame it on Sonny because it's clearly a mob hit gone wrong. I mean, she guessed right because Michael saw the bomb right before it blew up. So we do know it was a hit aimed at Sonny. And so far, Jason, Sonny, Carly, and Jocelyn are at the hospital. After Nina's call, Willow rolled out of Drew's bed and they are going to head over to GH2. Nobody wants them there. Curtis tells Drew to get away, just go. Joss rages at Willow, as will Carly, but that's Willow's husband, and she's a nurse, so I'm sure she's going to have opinions about what should be done for Michael, especially if there are decisions to be made. And on the Wednesday episode, as Isaiah was tending to Michael, he came, kind of awake conscious and was trying to speak. And the spoilers tell us that he's going to say something to Jason about Sasha, and it could be about protecting her, because she was worried about this mob thing and then this thing happened. I mean, interesting that it's Sasha on his mind and not Willow. But Michael may not be able to communicate for too long. He may turn unresponsive, or they have to put him in a medically induced coma. And I know Michael's been in a coma before, but come on. The same people get kidnapped time after time on soaps. I'm trying to think what soap it is. I think the same person has been kidnapped like 8 times. So I expect Carly will assume or just try and take charge and make decisions about Michael's treatment options if he can't speak for himself. But I don't know if Willow's going to let that happen, because if she lets Carly or Sonny assume control of his care, then Willow may lose control of other things like their assets and their kids. And I bet Martin and Nina are going to tell her if she gives an inch, Michael's family will take a mile. By the end of the week, GH spoilers say Willow takes control. Carly may not like it. She'll try and fight it, because Michael filed a divorce petition, but it didn't go through. So, Willow is still legally his wife, and that comes with decision-making power about his medical care. Diane is arguing with Martin on Friday, and I'm sure she's going to try to challenge, Willow's power to act on his behalf. One thing I will say, I don't think she would intentionally harm Michael by making a bad medical decision, but here's where it gets wild. If he dies, Willow is his widow, and that comes with lots of benefits. She would inherit his assets. She would probably get to manage his ELQ stock until the kids grow up. And then she could just move on with Drew. And, in that scenario, at least Michael would be at peace, if the alternative is to live a miserable life. But if Michael lives, it's more complicated. He could survive, but they need to keep him in a coma to treat him, or he may fall just organically into a coma. And then Willow may be in a position where she has to stay married to him to keep control of the assets and keep custody of the kids, and then still keep sleeping with Drew on the side. And obviously the congressman is wealthy, but those assets that Michael has that Willow would control if he isn't where he can, that might matter to Drew. And here's why. In the 2025 spoilers preview, they tease a battle between Drew and the Quartermaines, and they may try and push him out of ELQ. But Michael controls, I looked at all the numbers, and they actually add up to more than 100%, so I have to look again. But he controls about 18% of ELQ. And with what Drew controls, together, they control a lot of the company. So Willow may stay married to Mikey so she can hold his proxy and help Drew fight the Quartermaines. Imagine how mad that would make Michael's parents and the Qs. And then there's always the option that Michael might suffer a fate worse than death. Maybe he lives not in a coma, but he's horribly burned. He can't communicate. He's basically trapped in his body, shipped off to a long-term burn rehab center. Imagine if he is conscious but can't express anything, can't get a divorce, just like stuck in this terrible conscious limbo. I do think that would be terrible. Michael could be stuck married to Willow while she keeps bumping uglies with his uncle. He could be trapped in his body, knowing Willow is in Drew's bed, knowing that creep Drew is raising his kids. That, I think, would be a fate worse than death. And we'll find out soon, but I absolutely expect Michael to survive, but he might wish he had not, because this could get really messy.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.